KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now with Mark Hanrahan and Jeremy Legoo.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. New tonight, the Nez Perce County Prosecutor's Office is seeking the death penalty against the man who was accused of helping a Boise inmate escape and then killing a Julietta man while on the run. Nicholas Uppenauer appeared in Nez Perce County Court today. He's accused of killing 83-year-old James Mowney. Uppenauer is accused of shooting 3 corrections officers and helping 31-year-old Skylar Mead escape custody at a Boise hospital and then leading police on a statewide manhunt. While on the run, the pair are accused of killing Mowney, then taking his car. Skylar Mead is currently serving a life sentence for his prison escape in Ada County. His Nez Perce County trial for Mowney murder is set to start on February 3rd. The judge presiding over the case entered a not guilty plea for Mead, who is also facing the death penalty. If you wanted to buy a gun in the state right now, you'd likely have to wait a little longer than usual. New tonight, the system that does the required background checks for gun buyers has been shut down following a cyber attack on the state's court system. WSP says it usually takes 10 business days to get the clearance to get a gun, but it is taking longer than that for those who purchased guns at the beginning of the month. Now, gun rights advocates are threatening to sue the state over the backlog that keeps growing.
You cannot simply put people's constitutional rights on a shutdown. That doesn't work. If this had to do with anything but firearms, you'd be reading about it on the front page of every newspaper in the state.
We know it's frustrating. We know people have the right to get their guns. This is not any sort of political statement. This is a procedural challenge, a technological challenge that has to be addressed, and a security challenge. And once it is, I'm sure we'll be back up and going.
The State Patrol says on average they process around 700 background checks a day for gun buyers, but the state's court system hopes to have everything resolved next week, they say. A Spokan couple killed their daughter's ex-boyfriend and left his body in the trunk of a car for a year. Now, 4 years after the discovery, they pleaded guilty. KREM 2's chief journalist Amanda Rowley was in court today for the hearing.
John Eisenman and his fiancee Brenda Cross told the judge they are guilty of killing their daughter's 19-year-old ex-boyfriend. Out of respect for the teen's family, we are not sharing his name or image. Eisenman pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. Cross pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter, which is a charge prosecutors reduced from first-degree murder. The Spokan couple charged in the murder of their daughter's ex-boyfriend entered the courtroom together. Court documents say at the time of his arrest, John Eisenman admitted to killing the teen who he claimed sold his daughter into a sex trafficking organization. But Spokan police found no evidence that the victim participated in sex trafficking. Eisenman told police he kidnapped the teen in Airway Heights, zip-tied his wrists, and beat him over the head with a cinder block. The body was kept in the trunk of a car for a year before it was discovered in Hilliard. Police arrested Eisenman after tracing the car back to him. A year after his arrest, police arrested Eisenman's fiancée, Brenda Cross, for her involvement in the teen's murder. Court documents say she admitted to a coworker she helped kill the teen. Before accepting her guilty plea, the judge read Cross's statement of guilt. It acknowledges there was no evidence of sex trafficking.
And I further acknowledge that there was no corroborating evidence that sex trafficked. Is that your statement? Yes.
The couple faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. But as part of their plea deal, prosecutors will recommend 22 years for Eisenman, which is the low end of the standard range for murder. And they will recommend 8 years in prison and 3 years community custody for Cross. The teen's family was in the courtroom today. They asked us to not show his picture or say his name. Now, they are not ready to speak publicly at this time, but we do expect to hear their victim impact statements at the couple's sentence hearing in January next year. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, switching gears, let's take our first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, you've been teasing us all week long with this potential for snow. So how are we looking just a couple days out now?
It's even better.
Oh.
We're starting to get more forecast model runs in, and those forecast model runs are saying that chance of snow is looking better and better. However, there's a lot that is going against us to get that snow. Temperatures dropping though. We're back in the 30s for the first time in a few days, and it is going to keep dropping tonight because we've got some clearing in our skies overhead. Clear skies, a drier atmosphere, that all plays into our temperatures cooling, but along with it comes that atmospheric trough that's set up overhead. That helps us stay nice and cool. Tomorrow gives us a couple pop-up showers, most of those very, very light in nature, but there it is. Forecast models depict that snow starts Saturday. Now, when it comes to the snow, oh man, this is a tough one. It looks like it is snow starting Saturday night, taking us into Sunday, where it looks like we will eventually see rain take over much of the region and everything that falls in low elevations melts. It's an interesting one. We'll talk it in the full forecast.
Sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. Prosecutors in Bonner County dismissed the case against a man charged with kidnapping and raping a woman in Sandpoint 2 days after his arrest. Our news partners at the Bonner County Daily Bee report that Sandpoint police claimed the suspect, a man from Nicaragua, was involved in the attack. But the prosecutor's office found that man had an alibi that was supported by video evidence. So the county dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning charges cannot be refiled against the defendant. The Spokane County Medical Examiner has identified the man shot and killed in East Central Spokane this weekend. 71-year-old Donald Gunstrom died from multiple gunshot wounds and blunt force injuries. It's been ruled a homicide. Spokane police are still investigating. No arrests have been made. They do not believe the shooting was random, and there was no danger to the public, they say. Public health officials are sounding the alarm after a surge in cases of pertussis, also known as whooping cough. The Panhandle Health District in North Idaho confirmed there are 278 whooping cough cases as of November 12th, which is a drastic difference than the 26 cases combined from 2020 to 2023. They say the increase in cases for 2024 is due to several factors.
Things that have changed post-COVID in terms of we just have seen major changes in a lot of things like strep throat and things like that, and how those are spreading in the population and just patterns that we've never seen before.
The Spokane Regional Health District says getting booster shots is important because they expect whooping cough to stick around in the inland Northwest for the next 6 to 9 months, they said. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. Tonight, Boeing issuing layoff notices for employees as part of its move to cut 10% of its workforce. Employees started getting notices yesterday, and that will continue for the rest of the work week. Boeing announced those layoffs last month that will ultimately reduce its workforce by about 17,000 employees. All employees should be notified by the end of the week. Boeing says January 2nd is the deadline for those impacted to complete layoff documents, and those laid off will leave the company on January 17th. Some workers say they were surprised to receive their notice.
You know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, crap, it could be me, but I didn't legitimately think it would be because we have 2 newbies in our group.
No notices have been issued for the Moses Lake Boeing factory, but we will continue to monitor if any are filed in the days to come. The CDC has announced the number of people getting sick by slivered onions on the McDonald's popular quarter pounder has nearly doubled. The CDC says a total of 104 customers have gotten sick in 14 states, including Washington. 34 have been hospitalized, 4 developed serious kidney issues, and 1 person died. The agency says the company's fresh slivered onions are the likely source of the outbreak. McDonald's temporarily stopped selling the quarter pounder in impacted states, but that popular item is now back on the menu. And tomorrow we hope you'll be able to join us for Tom's Turkey Drive at Starbucks. All you need to do is go to a participating Starbucks between 3 and 5 p.m. Starbucks will then donate all the proceeds from your coffee drink to Tom's Turkey Drive. You can find a list of Starbucks on our website, KREM.com. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.